Welcome back to your official live continuing coverage of Toy Fair 2015 on BeTerrific. We're also syndicating to a lot of partners, including GeekBeat.tv and Planet 5D. Thank you so much for watching, wherever you're watching, whyever you're watching, however you're watching. Don't forget to spread the word. We're telling you that positive content, good stories are really important. I know you believe in that, so tap your friend on the shoulder. Send a text to a relative. Say you got to check out what these guys are doing. This is Toy Fair 2015. We're at the Jacob K. Javits Center. It's amazing here. I've wanted to be at Toy Fair since I was a little kid, and it's unreal. Now, there are plenty of ways you can get in contact with us. First of all, the first way is download our app, app.beterrific.com. In addition to that, you can hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at BeTerrificTV. Don't forget, we have an IRC chat underneath the video player on beterrific.com/live that you can join either anonymously or create your own login, and then we can monitor it and ask your questions on air. So there's that, and there's also email. connect@beterrific.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're so glad you're enjoying this. We are so excited to bring you continuing coverage. We just had the Toy Hall of Fame on. That was amazing. Chris had a lot of great stories to tell, and I can't wait to get there. The one thing I didn't ask him about, really ask him about, was trains. And you see our opening with all those cool trains. We love trains. He said they're there. The Lionel set is in the Hall of Fame. By the way, guys, I know you're asking, Callie is not in the Toy Hall of Fame. Her action figure did not make it, but maybe in the future. So the Lionel set is there. We're going to find out all about that when we go up there. It's very cool. We have Doug Fleener here. He is a retail specialty expert. He's talking here at Toy Fair. Doug, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
I am so excited about Toy Fair. Talk about just how excited you get when you walk around here, you see all these toys. You can't help but having a smile on your face, can you?
Oh, absolutely. I do a lot of different trade shows, and this is one that I always make sure I get to early before my speaking event. Walk around, share a lot of pictures with family and friends. Everybody's having fun. I mean, what a better trade show is there than that?
You know, it is a ton of fun. Everywhere you look, it's almost like being in a candy store when you're a kid, or a toy shop, or even as an adult. Like, I still want toys to play with. Like, especially, I have a 21-month-old son, and the more that he gets into toys, the more I want toys, even toys that are above him age-wise now. And so it's really amazing. Talk about how important a show like this is for retailers, small retailers. You know, I love the mom and pop stores. There's one in Princeton. They're unbelievable. We take Jack there because we have some friends in Princeton. I love the big stores as well, but the small specialty stores are, in my mind, the places where you can get personal attention and you can find those special toys, maybe some of the things that are you know, more like bespoke at this point, and also maybe some of the things that are more educational, which I think is a lot of fun. So how important is it for the retailers, especially the smaller ones, to come to a show like this?
Well, the small independent retailer definitely needs to be at a show like Toy Fair. They need to find these products early. They need to, before they get into the big box, they need to have that inventory that's a little different, a little special. And so really getting out here, and not just the main hall, but also coming to some of these other halls and seeing some of the other new startups. You know, I was just in the main hall and saw like Doug and Melissa. And there's a brand that started off very small with independence, now became a very large brand.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I didn't know anything about Doug and Melissa until I had my son, and then he's got a bunch of Doug and Melissa toys, and he loves them. He's got their cooking sets and their educational stuff and all this stuff. He's got some trains from, I was blown away at how big their booth is here. It was unbelievable. And I think, as you said, they started in smaller retailers.
Yeah, they would have started in one of these small aisles down the side, probably a small, you know, small number of SKUs. The independent picked them up, and the independent basically made.
And now they're in big stores like Toys R Us. They're in, you go to Target, they're in there. I've seen them in the huge box stores too as well. That's a great story, and it's great what the independents can do to help a small company grow as well. What is your favorite part? I know you kind of work as a consultant too. What's your favorite part of watching one of these small companies grow, whether it be a small retailer or it be a small toy company?
Well, first of all, I love to watch people when they follow their passion. Right, so you meet a lot of people who maybe came out of college and went into corporate America and then eventually said they really wanted to do something else. And you know, it takes a lot of guts to go start your own business. You're risking your whole family, you're risking everything out there. And love to just see when they're able to do that, give great service, find great products, and really compete in a marketplace.
You know, I talk about this all the time because we love telling great stories. So we talk to a lot of entrepreneurs. We're a startup ourselves,
Sure.
very much so. And so we know it intimately. You have to be willing to make sacrifices. It's a really hard thing for everybody involved, including the family members. They make sacrifices, even for this kind of thing. My wife, my son, they make sacrifices. Everyone of the team, their families make sacrifices. They make sacrifices. It's hard. It takes a special kind of person, and you got to realize that there are so many great ideas out there. Bringing them to market are very hard. So the ones that get through, the people who push through, they're special people.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things just specific to Toy Fair is, I think the toy store is still a great opportunity for an independent retailer. There's others, like I've worked in the camera industry, and
Sure.
boy, that's been a very difficult industry, right? So low margins, and they've been hit by cell phones and printers and what have you. But when you come to the toy store, there's still that opportunity. But you have to build this year-round business. The problem is that it used to be you made a lot of money at Christmas time.
Right.
And now you're losing quite a bit of sales to online retailers.
How do you do it as the small independent retailer? You're up against all the online stuff, the big online boys, and then you're up against the big box retailers as well. And then on top of it, you not only, like you said, you can't only sell for the fourth quarter, you've got to sell all year round. And you really can't buy in the mass quantity to have these huge sales, these huge blowouts. So how do you do it? How do you compete? What are some of the things these guys can do? Is it really finding those unique toys? Is that the key? Is it the service? What is it?
It's a combination of all, and for me it's an easy answer. It's about the experience. And so it's creating this experience in the store that people want to come back for. And so they get in that habit of coming there. Yeah, and then they're going to find the new products. They're going to meet the great staff. But I need to pull people in even when they don't need a birthday gift, even when they don't need Christmas. That it's just, I wonder what's happened at that XYZ store downtown.
What are the toys that do the best for the retailers? And I don't mean specific toys. What are the toy categories? Is it, the small stores do best with the train sets, or they do best with, the RC cars, or is it the kind of hobby stuff, or do they do best with like specialty dolls, or what is it that they do best with?
Well, at least the retailers I work with, it's the products that are the most demonstrable, that we can really engage the customer with. And so whether it's remote control, it could be dolls, it could be anything. To me, it's about the staff bringing the products alive, that it's just not a box on the shelf,
right,
but it really creates that excitement and a must-have.
Tell me a little bit about what you're speaking about and what you're going to tell people when you speak here.
So I'm doing a program called 2020 ADS, which stands for Average Daily Sale. So I'm going to be working with as part of the independent thinking part of Toy Fair. We're going to be talking about how they can increase productivity. And so every customer that walks in, can we sell that customer more? For some people, sell is a nasty word. But look, if someone's buying, someone's selling. And to me, when we sell toys, we sell joy, we sell happiness. And so we want to help these retailers sell more product, because it's important, because in most industries, store traffic is falling off. People are just making less shopping trips.
You talked a lot off air with me about social media, about the need to push, reach audiences. What can the retailers do to do that? And how do they do it so that they're not doing it too much, especially the smaller guys? Great
question. So look, it's not about selling online. It's about enticing. It's about bringing somebody in. So I think, you can talk about events. You can take an easy picture of just unpacking some new boxes and showing a new product that we just got in. That it's about building that relationship. And sometimes we want to oversell on social media. I just want to build that connection, that I can use media to still build that human connection. And I like to promote the staff who works there. I like to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, just really bringing that human touch to the independent store.
Do you have a favorite toy that you played with as a kid, or that you remember fondly?
Yeah, I actually do. I hadn't thought about it. So I was definitely a G.I. Joe guy. I remember going on a trip out west with my family and having G.I. Joe with me. And I remember my older brothers making fun of me. But that and Matchbox cars.
Yeah.
I had all the Matchbox cars.
Yeah, I had a ton of Matchbox cars and the cases you could carry them in and all that. I love the Matchbox cars. I think the G.I. Joe is a phenomenal toy. And I think it's interesting as things change, right? We still love those toys, but I think we see those being used less and less, especially for traveling across country, road trips and stuff like that. A lot more tablets, gaming consoles, DVDs. What about educational toys and how much they play a role into these smaller mom and pop stores, the smaller retailers?
Well, I think it's definitely a category that's important and with great opportunity. There's a retail chain, Learning Express, and that's really what they focus on, is bringing those type of learning products. And those are the type of products where the parent has to have a high trust level with the help. And that's where that independent can really build that credibility and that high level of trust and keep that customer coming back. But they really have to understand what is it that they want to work with the child on, what do they want the child to develop in. And then, when you can play and develop at the same time, that's a great experience.
Is there a toy that you think of or a store that you think of that has the best story you've ever heard? I know, we talked before about Lego has a great story. We've now talked, Slinky has a great story behind them. Monopoly is also a great story. Is there a toy that you say, or a toy store that just like these inventors fought through something that was amazing, or have this great kind of way they came about the toy, or a place that, just, wow, they do really good, and, wow, I don't know how they were able to build up and they're huge now.
Well, I guess because I come from the retail side, and maybe a little less on the toy side, where I really look at it is just what are some of these stores who started off risking it all, being a little local independent. We have a chain in Boston that really does both toys and baby gear, and it's run by a couple who just terrific people, get involved in the community, and are able to really, be successful. And also, give job opportunities for other people and offer, again, very specific and unique products. So to me, those are the kind of stories I love.
Where do they find some of the more specific products? It's interesting. I go around with my in-laws. We've been to the big box stores. We've been to the FAOs of the world. We've been to, when I was a kid, you'd go into FAO, and the most obscure stuff would be there, the most unique stuff. They had the Mercedes-Benz, go-kart. They had the piano that's famous from Big. Anything that they had there, sure, they had a lot of the toys that you could get anywhere, but anything you anything you found there was really unique other than that stuff. And I remember also, they were, to me, the first place you could go and play with stuff and get hands-on as a kid for long periods of time and really get into it. And that was for me, growing up in the New York area. And sure, there were lots of little toy stores around as well that were great. There was one on between 74th and 75th on Amsterdam Avenue that I remember very well. They had a flag hanging outside the store that was a key, and it was the Wind-Up Store, was I think the name of it. Yeah, and it was an amazing store. But where do these guys go to find these unique toys now? Is it coming to Toy Fair? They got to go to other shows? And what are some of those unique toys?
Well, I think, first of all, it's extremely difficult to do that today because of the internet. Actually, I used to work for the Sharper Image. Okay. And, so we...
Well, same story. I always tell this story, that the Sharper Image started out super unique, and then they have things that everybody else has in some way, shape, or form, or close to things.
But that really was a result of, because, again, of the internet.
Right.
If you get down to it, because, first of all, product lifestyles got shorter and shorter.
Right.
Uniqueness got shorter and shorter. So a product can take off on a Monday, and by Friday, the world's heard about it. And that's the challenge for the toy retailers. And so, as I mentioned earlier, I think it's coming here and it's walking some of these side aisles and just, seeing what are some of the other startups that are doing and giving them some shelf space and giving them some opportunity.
And I think Toy Fair does a great job of that, and I think you have to walk with a fine-tooth comb when you're here. I agree with that. Tell me about you used to work at the Sharper Image. Tell me about that experience. That must have been pretty amazing.
It was a great experience. So I was with Sharper Image in its heyday, and I remember selling the Electronic Wizard. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I talk about that. That's the Sharp Wizard. We talk about that all the time. In fact, I could not remember the name of it the other day. Yes, and it was the little, you flip it open, and it was like the first kind of Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was kind of a Rolodex and kind of a scheduler and kind of all that. Yeah,
it's NBA All-Star Weekend here in New York City, along with Fashion Week, Toy Fair, busy week in New York City. And one of the things I loved about working at Sharp Image, I ran the one in Boston, and the NBA players used to stay at the Hotel Connected. So I actually sold Charles Barkley his Sharp Wizard.
Wow.
And many others, many other NBA stars and baseball players and what have you. But it was
Barkley
great.
was an animal. He was such a great player, was he not?
Yeah, and he's a great announcer,
But
too.
he was fun to watch. He just, we talk about Michael Jordan being fun and a great athlete, but Barkley was just, he brought something special to the game. He was fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And, what was it, the mound round of rebound? Right. But and I think he's done a great job of turning that into being as an announcer.
Absolutely.
Because he's honest. He's honest with his thoughts. He's honest with what he says. And he doesn't try to be something he's not. So I met a lot of those guys at the Sharper Image. Sold them massage chairs, and it was a great company. I knew we were in trouble when we had to start making our money selling silk shirts. I don't know if you remember what so.
Absolutely.
Richard Tallheimer was great at finding new products, but eventually, sometimes, just as the world changes, so too do certain retailers. And Brookstones has tried to hold on, and it's been challenging for them.
Absolutely. Well, I love what Toy Fair represents. I love what Toy Fair is. It's unbelievable. Thank you so much for coming on and spending some time with us. I really appreciate it. And I thought we got some great insight, and we got some really great insight on why we should also really all take some time to not only celebrate, but also, go out of our way to kind of support not only the local toy stores and the smaller mom and pop stores, but also the inventors as well. When we see something innovative and creative and realize what the struggle they've gone through to get where they are and that they do on a daily basis to do this.
Thanks for calling out, supporting the local stores.
We got it. We got to do it. I love it, and we got to do it. It's very important. There's nothing wrong with going to the big box stores. They're great as well. And I do a combination for Jack, but you got to go support the little guys. It's also with supporting the creatives, the inventors, and it's a whole great circle. So absolutely, and they fight every day. They fight that battle. So absolutely, guys, thank you so much. We'll be back with a whole lot more on your live, official, continuing coverage of Toy Fair 2015 here at the Jacob K. Javits Center in New York City on BeTerrific. Thanks so much for watching. I love the chatter in the chat room. Keep it up. You guys are awesome. What's up, Jay Bird? He just joined. I'm Michael Artis. We'll be back with a whole lot more right after this. Don't go anywhere.